Hey race fans, the Trans Am season is getting into gear and this year promises to be one of the best seasons ever. So don't be on the outside looking in, straddle the technology fence with us and be part of all the action of every round of the 2021 season. If you haven't already, download the app as it's the only place to watch live coverage of the Trans Am series as we stream it around the world. Plus, you'll have instant and continuous access to race replays as well as pre- and post-race interviews. Live timing, race highlights, replays, results, and team and driver news. Everything you could ever want to be informed of the world of Trans Am. Subscription starts at $9.99 a weekend or $59.99 for the whole season. That includes over 10 hours of racing over any given weekend. So what are you waiting for? Download the Trans Am app now for Android or iOS and join us. This is the place to get all your muscle car media. We'll see you there. So, as we await the start, Rafa Matos definitely with his tail up, the Brazilian. There's something about Mid-Ohio that he loves. You could see the smile on his face. And boy, was he up against it yesterday, because with that 5-minute delay, he only really had one fast lap to go. We're going to be on board, and I'm going to be joined also by Scott Lagacy Jr. in a moment. So we're going to get some insight from a guy who's done it all before and continues to help the juniors. And hopefully, we'll see him back in the seat soon. But we are getting ready, so we've got all angles covered for you. We've got the onboards ready. The sun is shining. The crowds are out. It really is a big difference from a year before when we were here during the middle of COVID, and things have changed, thankfully, in the last year, and we are back to racing and back to crowds, and I'm delighted to say that. Mid-Ohio always put on a good show and always help us out here from our television point of view. And we're really enjoying being here, and I'm glad to say the weather is doing its bit too. In a moment, we'll head down to Ben Sissel and get the latest from what's going on the pre-grid. We've had some great racing so far, and don't forget, tomorrow our feature race will be TA, XGT, and SGT, and of course GT, and the crowds will be back again. We'll have some interesting shots also from the drone as well. I'm looking forward to that, because that really does give us an indication as to where the traffic is. It's a relatively new thing for motor racing to have live drones during races, and it's made a big difference to the overall coverage of races, because from a commentary point of view and from a fan's point of view, you really get to see what a driver is up against. The onboards are great, but it really does give you a different input. Let's head down to Ben Sissel. He's down on the pre-grid, ready to go. Ben, over to you.
Right there, Ben. Back on.
So let's head down to Ben Sissel, who's down on the pre-grid.
Of course, we're looking right here. Third position, Adam Andretti, who has this course on lock. Adam is really good here at Mid-Ohio, but really, Tony, I think that the story here, because we qualified, we could not have a tale of two different days. It was raining yesterday on qualifying, and per Trans Am rules, this is going to be a big story, Jonathan and Scott, is some people came out on rains. If you came out on rain tires, you can then put on sticker tires, brand new tires, but then going out on today's race, you may have sticker tires. But if you went out on sticker tires like I know Mike Skeen did, now Mike Skeen has to start this race on his second heat cycle in the tires. So Tabitha, hey Tabitha, is this his second heat cycle on these tires with Adam? Do we know?
Yeah, we qualified on these.
Adam says he qualified on these. I'm pretty sure so did Tyler Casera, and I'm pretty sure so did Rafa. So Adrian Lostovsky and Michael Self might be the first ones back there on brand new sticker tires. We've got a lot going on right here. We've got Doug Peterson. If we come up here, Tony, if you don't mind, we're going to have to get going here pretty soon. But a lot of cars here in TA2. I'm hearing from our directors, Jonathan, I'm coming back to you, and then you're going to throw back to us for the invocation and national anthem. Thank you.
Good stuff, Ben. And yes, that gives me a chance to bring it in. Scott Lagacy Jr., of course, a familiar name to Trans Am fans, but as a man who's got some skin in the game, because I know you're a bit juxtaposed here. You want to be on the pit lane, but you've kindly, graciously said you'll come in and talk to us because you're looking after one of the drivers.
Yeah, I figured I'd come over here and make a fool of myself. But trying to keep up with you guys will be difficult. But, yeah, it was interesting yesterday, like Ben said, to see the weather. And I can tell you from our side, it was difficult to know what to do. So, personally, we opted the long game and kept our stickers sitting for today. And
we're talking Connor Mosak, right?
Connor Mosak, yep, in the 28 car. So, we're sitting on stickers right now and feeling like we're in a good position.
How's Connor coming along? He's impressive, but you're the guy who's trying to, make him better. So how's he doing?
Connor's exactly what you want in a race car driver. He is mentally extremely tough. But he's going all the time and trying to get better. So with him, he's fun. He's just naturally skilled, naturally fast. Doesn't have a lot of experience, so we're spending all our time pulling him back from going too hard, which is a heck of a lot more fun than doing the opposite and trying to kick somebody to get him going. So he's going to be really good.
Well, I've talked to a lot of teachers like yourself in the past, and they say we can dial out speed, we can't dial it in.
Yeah, we got to pull him back for sure.
That's a good sign. You can't make a guy faster, but you can certainly pull on the reins a little now and again.
Yep, I expect to see him come forward pretty quick today.
Tell me about the start at Mid-Ohio. It's a little bit more unique because of the fact that we start from this midpoint. So you've got a long run down to turn 4, which is effectively turn 1 for the start of the race.
Absolutely threw me for a big loop the first time I ever came here. I have never been, when I came over and started road racing, I had never started and finished at a different point on the racetrack.
Yeah, so that's weird.
I was lost and all confused the first time I ever came here, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the reason they do it is turn 1 is so close and such a fast corner that really all hell can break loose, and so they give them a little bit more running time to get everybody sorted, and so we effectively start on the back straight.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense after doing it once, but the first time here was I was confused, to say the least.
So we're getting ready as we look on board with Adrian Lostowski. We'll be getting some onboard shots from him. Let's head down again now to Ben Sissel, and he's ready for the invocation and to start our feature race.
All right, Jonathan, we are at Winner's Circle at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. But now it's time for our Trans Am paddock pastor, Marvin Gray, to deliver his invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, please extend to us your favor. We thank you for the opportunity to share the sport we love and the beauty of your creation. We are grateful that you have brought physical healing to our nation through the tireless efforts of our medical personnel and emergency workers, and we ask that you extend it to all nations. Now we ask your blessing and protection for all who are gathered here, from the drivers and crew to the course workers and officials, to the track staff and all our fans. Finally, we ask that you be with our troops and safety forces. Protect them as they protect us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And now we have Mary Ann Lauder to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, what so o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave
Mariana Lauder, ladies and gentlemen. And now we have some special guests here. Over 100 employees from just down the road, Lexington, Ohio, Stone Ridge, to deliver the most famous words in motorsports. Let's hear it, Stone Ridge.
Drivers, start your engines!
Nice. That's a loud group from Stone Ridge. Jonathan and Scott, back to you.
Good work, Ben. We are ready to go. Slightly breezier than before, but conditions actually perfect. Alongside me, Scott Lagacy, and I'm looking forward to hearing Scott's views of what Rafa gets up to. And I'm sure it's an interesting view for you too, because you've raced him plenty of times, I'm sure, and you know what Rafa's all about. But it's an important race for him. Struggled a little bit in qualifying in terms of having to get out there early on, but Rafa raised his game. Just did one lap, a superb lap to take the pole. He currently holds the championship lead, but the margin is slim. But he's got a chance here with Merrill not qualified as well.
Okay.
What are your thoughts coming into this one?
I don't know what to think. I think there's a group up front that's going to be pretty wild and pretty aggressive early. And, I mean, that was, my suggestion to Connor, to sit back and let these guys go. There's enough tight spots here. If your car's good, you'll be able to make lap time up, and then 2 good passing zones, really easy passing zones, actually. So I told him with the group I see up front, they're going to race really hard, really early, I would expect to see, and for him to sit back and kind of take advantage of that.
So the 2 passing zones, turn 4 is the obvious. Into the keyhole, the other one, or is there a few others?
Yeah, we worked, or I have personally worked really hard getting it off of turn 1. I just feel like turn 1 is a difficult corner. You're never going to be good there from the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You're never going to be happy. So if you can figure out how to get your car off there, there's big momentum.
So they are heading out, and as you can see, I'll tell you what, one man who's probably the hungriest out there is Adam Andretti, getting an opportunity to drive a competitive car. He's been in and out of the seat. He was 3rd in TA up until he jumped out of his seat, and he's been he's been doing some commentary with me, which has been awesome. But this man's going to be really, really looking for a result today.
He's big shoes to fill over here.
Yep.
But yeah, I talked to him earlier, and he's really excited. It kind of came out of nowhere, and he obviously did a good job at Lime Rock last week.
Yeah.
And he said Doug called him and asked him if he'd be willing to do it, and he jumped on it. So that's going to be ultra competitive right there. Those two, Rafa and Andretti, aren't going to give each other anything, I don't think.
And Rafa could use the help. I don't mean that rudely, but Rafa is in a position to win the title again, as he did in 2018 for Doug Peterson. And I think the game plan is, Doug's in the race, but he knows that I think Andretti, and it shows by the qualifying, can maybe be more of a spoiler, if that's the right word, for Rafa to help him.
I don't know that Adam's going to sit back and do anything. He's got an opportunity here. He's got an opportunity here, and I would imagine he'll pounce on him. So I tell you, somebody that's grabbed my attention here lately is Adrian.
Yeah.
He's been good and solid, and solid to race around. He doesn't seem to do anything crazy or get outside of his skill sets, and that's a big deal. Using his head.
Yeah, no question. Adrian Lostowski, runner-up in SGT last year, and has stepped into TA2 and done it very well in this Hawk-sponsored Camaro, and looking really good too. As you say, he definitely drives within his limits, and what we mean by that is he drives hard, but he doesn't make mistakes very often, and that is, somebody who teaches young drivers, that's key, isn't it? You can be fast, all of them are fast. It's the consistency.
It is. It's running every lap. You've got to be there and to learn. And he's been very impressive to me. He's caught my attention here lately, regularly actually.
So too Tyler Casera, really impressed. He stepped into a much bigger team with Silver Hair Racing this year. It was a one-man band or a family operation before that, and he has risen to the challenge too. He was runner-up in our amazing COVID sim racing competition, which you were involved in.
I was a weapon in. What do you mean involved in? I'm a train wreck in simulators.
I know, and I think it was your daughter's seat that let you down, actually.
Yeah, I don't know that equipment had anything to do with helping me out in that deal, but I actually leaned on Tyler a little bit through that to figure out how to get better at it, and
it's a different game, isn't it?
It's a whole nother skill set. So it's to see him make that transition. You go from being the one, the only, and now you're part of a team. And having done that, for the mental side, it is a definite shift. And then learning how to work within a bigger organization, it's tough, but he's doing a good job. And I was impressed with their qualifying run here.
Scott, it's great to have you here because give us a systems check. What is Rafa and Connor and the rest of the boys doing right now? We always see them weaving, and we as commentators say, oh, they're warming the tires, but there's a lot more to it than that. What are they doing?
It's your brakes up the temp, warming things, make sure you got a good feel for the race car. Believe it or not, when you're squirming at that speed, you can feel things.
Yep.
You're talking to your spotters, make sure they're where they want to be, and now you're just waiting to hear a green flag. So,
well, as we said earlier, we're coming to the middle section here, out of the keyhole. They start here at Mid-Ohio for Trans Am down the middle of the straight to help them into turn 4. So the start of the race about to get underway as they jostle for position and make sure they're in position for the start of this race. We're on board, and we're just behind with Adrian Lostowski, but Rafa Matos will try to hold off the man alongside him, and he does so into 4, and that, of course, is Tyler Casera. Andretti in 3rd already, looking for a chance to get past the number 5, who's definitely swirling underneath them tyres at the moment. Adam getting a good start, but here comes Mike Skeen, side by side and up to 3rd. Aggressive move, and Scott, I would have thought you'd approve.
That's pretty aggressive for first lap, but he looks like he's going to make it happen, so good for him.
So Mike Skeen desperate after not was a great qualifying for him and trying to get past Andretti early on as they come to the end of the first lap here. Rafa Matos holding the lead now from Tyler Casera as they come through the carousel for the first time. Rafa's got this one. Michael Self got a good start, and Andretti does hold on to 3rd place ahead of Mike Skeen. Check a look on who's where. It's an hour race, a lot of racing to come. Strategy is important. Tires are important too. The sun beating down more so than it certainly was yesterday. Here comes Skeen again at the inside of the keyhole. I think he's going to make it this time. Yes. Nicely done.
What I saw behind there was Connor make a good clean pass too. So I'm going to be a little biased here.
No.
I'm watching the race cars and how they're acting and what the nose sights are doing. And I'm pretty excited about what Connor's got to do today, and then Scott Borchetta.
Yeah, and if Mr. Lagacy suddenly leaves, it's because Connor's got something to talk about with him, because usually he's on the radio with Connor Mosack helping him through, but he's graciously said he'll come and join us. So he's like an expectant father at the moment. He's trying to make sure that he's there for Connor, but he's also doing some commentary for us. Good clean start though, and a great start from Rafa, and Rafa's most potent when he's out front and feeling comfortable. Nice high shot above. We can see the gap now. Rafa trying to extend his lead, and the top 3 starting to spread out.
It's actually a pretty decent little place to watch the race. You can see everything.
Yeah.
Pit road, you sit and wait and watch for him to come by every time, so that gets tough.
If you need to get on the radio, you can talk to him. We're quite happy to listen in. We sometimes listen to Tommy Treacy. Ben is back in the booth and ready to join us. Ben, well, I guess there wasn't really much to learn on the pre-grid. Pretty much as is, but did you notice anybody with slicker tires that you didn't expect?
Yeah, actually, a lot in the front row, and I think a lot of people use that little rule thing as a strategy. And but I even think I spoke to Mike Skeen yesterday. He was pretty upset about qualifying, so I wouldn't count him out. I will say this about Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I've been to the races here in TA2 since 2015, and Mid-Ohio never disappoints.
No.
Scott Lagacy put on a great show last year with his buddy Reese.
That's right. And that's a good question. When are we going to get the Scott Lagacy number 92 show going again?
I was supposed to run here and opted not to just because of what we have next weekend at Road America. We've got a lot of really good guys in our cars, and I wanted to make sure that we were prepared for that. So Brainerd was the next one I slated. I felt like I gave that away last year, my first time being there. So drove it off the racetrack lead, and that made me mad at myself, so I want to go back there.
So last year, this is exactly how it played out. Rafa Matos took a huge lead. But then we've got Mike Skeen already in second place. Just got by Tyler Casera down there, just past Madness. Tyler Casera, he's a Spec Miata guy. He's from Pennsylvania, so you'd think he's done a lot of time at Mid-Ohio, but he's only done one Miata race here. But I'm sure he's got a lot of time on the sim. And then that's Adam Andretti right there in the 86. a Mid-Ohio instructor for years, so he has this track dialed in. There we are on board with Adam. What are you seeing, Scott, as a driver with Adam?
I want to go back to rule changers saying that guys got sticker tires in the front row that ran on them yesterday in qualifying.
So what happens if they go out, if they leave the grid on rains and change the stickers, you can put new stickers on. All you have to do is leave the grid on rain tires if the weather is rainy.
I had no idea that. Look
Yeah,
at that. I failed on that one.
That might
Team
be a
Agassi
change.
needs Ben Sissel, I think.
Whoops.
Well, actually, it was Savajan that pointed it out to me on
Okay.
the grid, and he actually pointed who is on second heat cycles and who's on stickers.
It's likely me misreading something.
So
There's
there's
high likelihood
Adam.
of that.
Adam Andretti, or is that, yeah, that's
Yeah,
Adam
that's
Andretti,
Andretti.
right behind Casera now.
Yeah, and Skeen's done a good job from fourth. He tried to get past Andretti in the first lap, but now he's up to second. Now the question is, can Casera stay with him? And it looks like he will. Andretti's right there too, but it's all playing into the hands of Rafa at the moment. Look at the gap he's got from the drone. You can see it yourself.
Yeah, I would call that a good par 4 away from Mike Skeen, but this is the battle right here, second, third, fourth, fifth. And, you know, I keep saying this, and I'm not saying this just because you're here, but I just keep getting more and more impressed with Connor Mosack, his patience and his abilities. He can really wheel a car.
Yeah, we've been very, very, very happy and feel very fortunate to be working with him this year. He's what he's going through right now is we had a motor problem. It wasn't a motor problem; it was an electrical issue all weekend. So he basically got no practice, and we had to guess on it for him. So I don't know what he's thinking or screaming about right now. I may have to scan over my radio here in a minute.
Well, he's
See
just
how
done a
he's feeling.
127.078, which is quicker than the three guys in front of him. The only man faster is Rafa Matos.
And look at this, Adrian Lostowski, I've been really impressed with him in TA2. He was our second in points in SGT in the championship last year. Here he is following Edward Savajan. And I went out to dinner with Edward Savajan last night, and I tried to get Adrian to go with us. So look at this could have been my dinner
Another
buddy.
free meal.
Look at that, Big Machine Vodka, number 38, Edward Savajan. Adrian coming right up behind him. Two Eastern Europeans, Savajan and Lostowski, battling it out into one of the most difficult parts of the track. What are your keys here, Scott, at this part of the track?
Not make a mistake. There's some little marks, some tricks, some bumps that you got to kind of pay attention for. But the big thing is just making sure you get off. I call it the jump properly because this does lead to a somewhat critical straightaway. Not a whole lot of passing going to happen there, but still critical.
Well, Connor's tucked himself right into the back now of Adam Andretti, but look at Andretti go. He's pushing on Casera now, trying to force a mistake. Out of the carousel they all come. Past our commentary position, it's still Rafa Matos by 3.1 seconds now, but the real game is right here with Skeen, with Casera, Andretti, Mosack, Self just behind them. Michael Self just going wide a little bit there. We're on board with Andretti. You've got Casera in his sights as he goes down, dives brilliantly into the keyhole, and through goes Andretti. Nicely done.
That's really nice. And I think they said, Tabitha, right at the grid, that Adam is on sticker tires, or is he on second heat cycles? I can't remember what he said. I think he's on second heat cycles too, right?
You got me, buddy. Ask Ben Sissel. He was the guy doing the interview.
I would like to, but he's still over there somewhere. Adam Andretti coming up behind Mike Skeen. Now, the one thing that Adam Andretti has, it's been a while since he's been in a competitive TA2 car, but he knows Mid-Ohio probably better than anybody else here. He spent so much time here as an instructor.
Look at him go. Oh, he's making moves where nobody else would. Look at him really put the pressure on Skeen now. Skeen will not be liking this. If you remember, Mike Skeen came across a back marker at Lime Rock, and that got him in trouble. He managed to recover at Lime Rock in the wet, but he won't want Andretti doing this right now because Andretti isn't a factor for the championship. He's trying to help Rafa and himself right now.
And look at how close Mike Skeen gets to that wall coming up out of Thunder Valley. Mike Skeen always really good here.
They touched.
Looks like Scott Lagasse and Mike Skeen from last year here in Mid-Ohio through the carousel. But what are you seeing when you're watching this in-car? That's some good car control.
It is. Adam's line's really good, obviously. You know, all the laps he has here. I was impressed with his line down through the back section, 4, 5, and 6. So looks like he's got good speed. He's just going to have to take him a minute here to get by him and get gone.
Well, this group is now catching on Rafa. Rafa's, the gap was 3 seconds. It's now 2.2. So Rafa either just not throttling off, but not pushing too hard. His last lap at 26.6. So actually, he is still pushing.
I don't know that Rafa doesn't push all the time.
Yeah, exactly. He only knows one speed. It's first gear and 6. And there is only 5 or only 4. Doesn't matter.
He just keeps going.
Andretti all over the back of Mike Skeen. And this is the section where he was really quick last time out. But look at Casera. Casera wants a piece of the action too. Great racing here early on in this. Now, how much does Andretti need to be careful in terms of tire management, the way he's pushing here?
You know, this Pirelli tire is very resilient. It to the point of I've been kind of wishing it would fall off a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's got to get clear here at this point. He's got the guys on his back bumper. He doesn't want to leave himself vulnerable to those guys wanting to go. So he needs to do what he's got to do here and move on. And as hard as these guys are racing, it won't surprise me to see him give him a bump and run or something.
Well, he tapped the back of him coming into the carousel last time. Will he make a move? Well, I mean, the obvious is Keyhole. The next, he made a great move there before. He slots in behind him here, going through turn one. Mosak getting through on Tyler Casera. A great move again by young Connor.
Yeah, it looks like he's using his head. He's making me proud right now. So this is a scary position when you just get by somebody leaving a high-speed corner. That could have left him vulnerable in a break zone there, but looks like he did a good job getting in deep, and he's hopefully going to get gone.
Self and Savajian right there too, as is Lostowski. We're on board Lostowski down the back straight.
That is a great sounding car right there. The Hawk performance of Camaro of Adrian Lostowski, the fast auto racing, going into what I think is the best passing zone here at Mid-Ohio.
It's probably a K-Tech.
Adrian,
You think?
coming up right behind him, turn 5. No touch there.
Almost.
This is really good. Now, what Mike Skeen's got to watch out for is the fact that Adam Andretti and Rafa are working as teammates. And then right behind your buddy Connor Mosak are two teammates of Michael Self and Tyler Casera. So let's see if the teams can work together or if Mosak and Self and Skeen can hold them back. Side by side.
Look at this. Great racing. Oh, and Skeen's there. He gives a little nudge to Andretti, and Andretti throws it back.
Almost 3 wide going into the carousel.
Skeen raced here at IMSA a few weeks ago, and look at him. Skeen's come off badly there. Oh, and I'm going to turn to my expert. What happened then to poor old Mike?
Looked like chaos to me there.
Did,
I'm not sure.
Connor could not have read that better.
He did
He
a very
made
good
the right
job.
choice. That was a 50-50 call, and he made the right call there.
I can't help but have my owner's coaching hat on right now watching these moves. Sorry. So for those at home that don't want to hear anything about him, I hate that for you. But
Dude, he's at the front. We're going to cover him.
It you know, I don't know. It looked just Mike was in a bad position and kind of slid out of there, and that's what happens when we got this many cars this close together, and that's what's really great about this place and what's so good about it as a training ground is they're just underneath a blanket right now, and at some point, Rafa's going to come back into this. I'm watching lap times. When they get clear, we'll probably see him back involved in this.
Lostowski on Casera. And look at Mosak on Andretti. It's all going off here in the early stages. Michael Self wants a piece of the action too. Can't get past Andretti. They're losing ground to the leaders though.
And look at this too, just like in Trans Am as it should be, the top teams are all up front just fighting it out. I'm loving it.
Look at the gap that Matos has built now. It's over 5 seconds and he's just improving on it lap after lap. He's the only man in the 126s at the moment.
Yeah, if these guys don't quit beating on themselves, he's going to get back around and lap them.
Yep.
Look at all of these fans at Mid-Ohio. It's so much fun to be back at racing with the hillside being full of fans. Unbelievable. I always love coming to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Guys, at the back of this group, Evan Picourt. Do you know much about him? He's come in the 94 in the all blue. I was trying to find out a little bit about him. He's behind Tyler Casera at the moment, but he's on our radar for now.
Yeah, top 10, running 9th right now.
You know, he
doing really well.
He popped up on the charts yesterday, and I wasn't sure who it was. So good for him. It obviously has a good skill set. Is working really hard.
Yep, Trans Am getting more and more popular. It's a bumper field once again, over 29 cars involved, and I was talking to Tony Perella. Here we go, side by side, Connor Mosak and Adam Andretti. Andretti will have the better line and holds the line.
Look at how deep Adam goes in there just to try to keep it, because you definitely want to be on the left side going into 5. And I think Connor's going to be patient. He's learning a lot, isn't he?
It's been drilled in his head here to be patient, but looks like he's got some speed right now, and he needs to get gone with those two guys sitting behind him on his back bumper.
I was about to say, it's one thing being patient, but if you're also under pressure, you don't want to be sitting there too long because they're just going to take advantage of you.
Yeah, you typically don't want to leave your back bumper there vulnerable like that.
Yeah.
So
a little tap can turn you around, and there's a good four-way battle here at the moment. But Rafa Matos is loving every minute. He comes through the carousel and he's waving back at them as he goes through it, because he can see they come past our commentary position now. You really could throw a blanket over him.
There's Pecor right there, and is that one of Blaze's cars? It looks like one of the BC race cars, but I can't see the livery on it.
Yeah, you're right, it does, doesn't it? It's the same colors that Misha would run.
So Adrian Lostowski on Mike Skeen. We've got some great battles here. Been really impressed. I got to go see Scott shop these M1 cars that he's building. We're seeing a lot more M1 cars running up front. We were on the West Coast last weekend at the Ridge, and Jeff Holden put on a really good show there in his M1 car. Connor Mosak, Sam Mayer. I think you've got 4 cars coming next weekend, is that right?
Yeah.
But when are you going to get your buddy Mosler back in a TA2 car?
Yeah, where's that guy?
We're trying to sucker him back in right now. We'll get him back in here soon. It'd be fun to have Jacob back, but I'm proud. We're very fortunate. We get to work with good drivers, and the guys at our shop in M1 build really nice stuff, and not as many cars as we'd probably like to build a year, but they're working really hard, and kind of that's our deal. Is try to focus on quality over quantity right now.
Well, Andretti's doing a good job. You said you didn't think he was going to be helping Rafa, but he's doing it by proxy now, because Rafa's up the road and Andretti in second place. Can see him just, but he's holding off this group now, which involves Mosak, Self, Savagian, and Mike Skeen, and just behind Lostowski. Casera's dropped to 8th position, and that's a real shame because he was right at the sharp end at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, but he might be doing something strategy-wise. He's kind of a chess player too, so he might be thinking the guys up front are wasting their tires, and he might be holding back and waiting. But I will tell you, Gar Robinson and Shane Lewis years ago told me nobody can make their car wider than Adam Andretti, and now he's doing what he's supposed to do up there. Scott Borchetta, top 10 so far. He's running number 9. How cool is that? He had a great showing here last year, but now he's just proven that all this hard work is paying off. Really fun to watch Scott Borchetta in TA2.
He has impressed the hell out of me. He has been a lot of fun to work with. We've been working with him now for a few months, and he works. He respects the sport. He loves the sport.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's the respect he has.
He's bound and determined to be good, and he doesn't want anything given to him. He wants to earn it. He wants to earn it the hard way, and I'm excited for him. He's got good natural skill set. Just needs some more time, and to see him, like you said, 9th. I just didn't notice that. It's pretty impressive.
That's awesome. I love Scott Borchetta. I'll tell you a little funny story at the grid. We were just chit-chatting, talking to the grid, and he goes, "Hey, if you don't mind, I need to get in the right mindset." And I love that. His work ethic is awesome.
That is great. And if you don't know who Scott Borchetta is, he's a successful businessman. In fact, he's involved in a lot of racing. He does a lot of sponsorship with his company. And his passion is motor racing. And he's putting the same kind of passion from his business world into his racing. And as you say, he's dedicated to it. And he's just come on. He's been a very successful SVRA driver. He'll be out in Group 6 later in the weekend. But he's taken to TA2 and put his head down. He's had a podium before. I think it was at Brainerd last year. But this is really becoming a real success story as we go back on board with Lostowski. Gently through the keyhole. Lostowski currently in 5th position.
It's like he got a little tight there and had to get back out of the gas, and that'll kill on this long straightaway.
That's probably the most important turn exit here.
As a driver, it's tough there. You want to pick the gas up as early as you can, obviously, but if you go to it just a tick too early and you're a little bit too tight, it'll kill the long straightaway. So you have to stay disciplined as much there as anywhere on this racetrack.
Great shot there. Tyler Casera, Adrian Lostowski. I have my son Levi here with me this weekend. He picked out Tyler Casera as his favorite car here in TA2.
Good looking car, definitely. I'm with him there. It really is a nice color scheme. And I also love the matte finish on the black. It really is cool. And Tyler Casera, great. Oh no!
Mike Skeen. Is that China Beach? Where is that?
He's beached it either way, whether it's China or Afghanistan. It doesn't matter. He's beached it.
That's deep in there.
That is. And last year, if you remember, he went into the kitty litter and was able to spin his way out somehow. But that's
he ain't going to do it today.
May have been a guy in this room helpful with him getting into that position. I'm not sure who that could have been.
Yeah, I think he's sitting right next to me. We'll call him Scott L. No, that's too obvious. We'll call him S. Lagacy.
Oh, I was so mad that happened, but
Now,
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Surely we're looking at a full course yellow.
Yeah, I'm just hearing from race control. Full course yellow.
And the one's going to be mad. It's going to be Rafa, surely.
No, I think Mike Skeen's pretty mad.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's fighting so much. I think at the beginning of the race, Rafa was 3 points ahead. I'm not sure why the pace car picked up Adrian Lostowski. So hopefully we can get them sorted out. But that's going to take quite a while. He's really deep in there. Mike Skeen, always on the hunt for the championship. And I can't see where that is, but my guess, based on the speed that he had to hit that has to be turn 4, China Beach.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wow. Very, very, very
I'm seeing that Ken Thwaites did not start. I'm not sure what happened
I didn't see him. He was out in practice yesterday. I saw him, but you're right. I don't know why. Looking back at the team.
So we have our producers looking up Evan Pecor, and it seems like they can't find anything.
I tried last night.
Yeah. So we've got a Racer X out there with us right now. So if anybody knows what's going on with Evan Pecor, leave us some comments on the Trans Am social media pages so we can tell you. But look at that. That is a driver disgusted. And it looks like, that looks to me like maybe brake failure. It's not like Mike
it's an odd mistake for him to make, for sure, and to be that far deep into the gravel.
Yeah, so we're looking right now. Looks like he's talking to Mike Skeen. That's the Stevens Miller crew speaking. I think Stevens Miller have 4 to 5 cars here this weekend, but Mike Skeen is the one that's really, really in the hunt for the championship. So right now, look at this. This could not be going better for Three Dimensional Services Group with Rafa Matos at the front, currently our points leader. Adam Andretti here as a spoiler between your buddy, Connor Mosack. So what's Connor going to do here? He's got Adam Andretti, who, has so much experience here, so much experience in TA2, the only TA2 driver to win a race in a Chevy, Ford, and Dodge. And it looks like Scott Borchetta got into the back of somebody. That wouldn't have been Skeen, would it?
I'm not sure if I know that, but I don't know. What I'm thinking right now, if I'm Connor, is Adam got a bad initial start. He saw that. So either he just, which is uncommon for Adam Andretti, so maybe he's got a little bit of a hiccup or a wrong gearbox decision, something like that. So I think I'm aware of that right now. I saw that happen earlier in the race. That went into the memory bank to use later if I needed it. And Rafa traditionally goes early. He's been getting called on that here lately a little bit. So whether that kind of leaves your mind wondering what he's going to do a little bit. I don't know that I can guess at that one. Traditionally, he fires early, but like I said, he's been reprimanded a little, or at least warned to watch that. So I don't know what Connor's gonna be thinking right now, and I'm not sure what I'd tell him on the radio if I was on the radio.
So I didn't get to go to the Trans Am drivers meeting, but are all restarts going to be where they started the race, or the restart's going to be here at the finish line?
I believe they're here at the finish line.
If they're here at the finish line, that's a really bad disadvantage for anybody in 10th or back, because they have to still come through the carousel while everybody else is accelerating. So I'm not sure about that. We'll see how this goes. But
what they're talking about here, guys, if you're not familiar with Mid-Ohio, is that the last corner carousel leads on to the front straight, right in front of our commentary position, funnily enough. But the race start, as you saw, is down the back straight. Just before turn 4. Now, we're asking the question, do we restart at the carousel or in that long, winding right-hander that leads to the front straight, or do we go back to the back straight? And I think you're right. I think it's going to be through the carousel, and as you rightly point out, that means it's tougher because you're going slow and the rest are accelerating away.
Yeah, it's an advantage for the top 5 to 6 maybe, but then if you're back behind there, sometimes you're coming through a really difficult corner when your radio's saying green, green, green.
Yeah. So we're going to be on board with Andretti as he restarts this one.
I got to tell you, though, about Connor Mosack. I was doing a Facebook Live interview with him, and it was like talking to Scott Lagasse Jr. Because I asked him, I said, where are you in points? And he goes, I don't know where I am in points. I just know I want to win this race. And I was like, that's straight out of what Scott Lagasse Jr. told me all last year. If you're going to teach him the
playbook, you're teaching the playbook.
But he was always doing really well in the points. This guy next to me here announcing the race with us, but he never knew where he was in the points. He just knew he wanted to win the next race.
It's a good attitude.
I don't think I can think that far out. That's my problem, really. And I will tell you that Connor is way more level-headed than I am. So
let's talk about next weekend, Road America. you've got 4 cars. We've got a lot of big names in NASCAR and future stars in NASCAR coming to race with us because we're racing with the NASCAR, the Xfinity NASCAR, the Truck Series, right? And a lot of NASCAR guys come into TA2 and they do well, but none of the big names that came from Trans Am, like Haley, they've never won a race in TA2. TA2 is very competitive. So these NASCAR guys and the guys that you're working with like that, what are you telling them?
I think that's what makes TA2 such a great series is how good the front guys are here at their craft. You know, it's like going to the local dirt track. You know better than to go into the local dirt track and think you're going to outrun that guy, right? Like if you think you're going to do it,
that's their game.
You know, and but the neatest thing for me about this is you look through this field and we've seen it this whole race is there's races for every spot. And everybody at every skill set, experience level is racing and having a blast. And to me, that's a big deal. So I think whether you're running for 1st to 5th or 5th to 10th, the gaps coming from anywhere, you're going to learn a lot in the deal. And I think that's probably what's more attracting them to this anyway than anything is not necessarily the running laps on a racetrack or anything like that. It's the let's get the mistakes out of our way. Let's learn the brake zones. Let's look at all the little. Sorry, I had to look at these cars as they go by pit road here. Let's see, Scott's got a little nose damage, but just the finer points of road racing that you don't do oval track racing. And I think they watch these races and they see, wow, I'm going to learn the hard things now and make my mistakes early before I get to the Cup stuff.
And we've said it many times, Sam Mayer, watching him this year with you running for the Pro-Am Challenge, that 10 years from now, everybody's going to be like, I used to race with that guy. And he's in your stable. He'll be with us at Road America?
He will, and he's obviously after last year, you know, he felt like he had a shot at that thing and got caught up in the big wreck, and he's going to be ready. He'll be tough. I'm excited about our stable.
Yeah, and now he's going full-time Xfinity too, right?
Big weekend for him.
Yeah.
First Xfinity start this weekend for Junior Motorsports, and man, I'm going to be more nervous for that, I think, than any race I've ever watched or been a part of.
Well, Scott, let me put a little bit of an advert out for you. What if somebody wanted to join your stable of drivers? What would they need in terms of credentials to approach you?
That's probably outside of my wheelhouse. We run and actually have as much fun as working with somebody that's not raced a lot as we have with the veterans. It really just comes to our situation is we're going to run what we're capable of running, and that's our deal. I'm not going to be stressed out at the racetrack or having failures. You have failures, things happen, but I just don't want that. Or we don't.
You don't want to stretch yourself.
It comes down. It's why I'm not running myself this weekend. It was a tough decision as a race car driver, but I stepped out for next weekend. Yeah.
Hey, so I'm hearing from Stevens Miller, how much damage on Skeen's car can we get a shot? So we're asking from the teams to talk to the directors if they can get a shot, but what should I text back? It looks like he's just buried deep in. I didn't see much damage.
I don't see much damage, no.
It looked like the left front nose was shoved in and up a little bit.
I don't know what they're worried about. He ain't going anywhere. He's out of the car, I can tell you that.
Lights out on the pace car.
Okay, so we're ready to go racing. Rafa Matos leading the pack. Andretti right behind him. The American flags blazing on top of the cars. Out of the carousel they come, and we are racing again. Rafa Matos leads from Andretti. Mosak is third. Then it's Lostowski. Tyler Casera has gained some places and is back in the hunt. Down towards the keyhole again. This is an important lap for Rafa, he goes to the inside to defend his position. He knows that Andretti wants by. With Lostowski as they come through the keyhole.
That move right there will tell you there are no team orders with those two.
Yeah, no kidding.
Rafa was worried about the late dive, so that's good to see. I'm not a fan of team orders in racing.
Well, I asked Adam if they worked together in qualifying. He said no. He said not really. He said, but Rafa went past me and I let him go, but we didn't really talk about working together per se. And there is Connor Mosak in the 28.
Yeah, I feel like Adam's just a good all-around person and would be a great teammate to work with. I feel like he's going to be competitive and he's going to push you to be better, but he's going to be a teammate, and that's important in a deal like this. That elevates the whole team.
And now more pressure's on Adam to not do anything, because with Mike Skeen being out, you know, it's Rafa's to lose. So let's see what happens here. But even knowing Doug Peterson,
he should just pull over and let Connor go. That's what he should do right now.
You reckon that's what should happen?
No, I want to see some racing here. But man, Connor Mosack, Adrian Lostowski. This is really, really good racing here. And we're still trying to find out about Evan Pecor. Looks like we got to 113 miles an hour there from Mike Dallenbach's radar. And man, I've been really impressed with Adrian Lostowski in that Hawk Performance Chevrolet Camaro. Lots of fun to watch. And look at there's Borchetta behind this group of field. As my eye says, he's in 7th place.
Yep. Yeah, with the nose knocked in, that can't be helping him right now. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Adrian is, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name. It's like somebody trying to say mine for the first time. But he is everywhere he's been this year. He's been up the charts, and that's been impressive. You know, you grabs your attention for sure.
Silent W, Lostowski, that's what we're going with. Either way, he's a winner. Runner-up last season to Lee Saunders and has progressed into TA2 and is handling it perfectly. And as you can see, he's right there and in pursuit of one of the young guns, Connor Mosack. And the field starting to spread out again. And if you look to the top of your screen, you'll see 19 of 45 and 34 minutes. And the reason for that is it's either or. Either they get the full 45 laps in, or if the clock ticks down to 0, it's one more lap and you're done.
I have noticed that Rafa Matos, and he did this last year, and you know he's done really well Indy Lights and IndyCar here at Mid-Ohio. He really pulled out at the start of the race, but this time he can't seem to get that gap on his teammate Adam, and it looks like Connor may be a little bit faster than Adam. What's Race Monitor saying? We got a waving yellow at turn 5. There's the three-dimensional services group team right there. 3 drivers out in the field right now: Doug Peterson, Rafa Matos, and Adam Andretti.
Yeah, Doug Peterson down in 18th position, which is rare for him. He's usually a lot more competitive, but of course he's given his drive effectively to Adam this weekend. But I think it's a smart move on his part.
Side by side, Casera, Lostowski. This could work out really well for Pecor there in that electric blue car.
Yeah, very tight indeed, going down towards World 4, but the better line is with Lostowski. And Casera knows it.
And I'm seeing Scott Borchetta has fallen off here all of a sudden. So I wonder if that's what the waving yellow was. There, it would look like he was just sitting there in turn 5. So are they going to get a full course caution coming?
Haven't heard full course yet. I'm listening to race control on my right ear.
Well, either way.
That would cause some overheating, don't you think, with that much front end?
Yeah, hopefully it didn't take the radiator out.
And he's parked it. The 48 has spiked it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the 48 cannot get refired. Looks like he came through the grass there.
So Borchetta out.
We
actually proceedings, and we do have a double yellow, and sure enough, there it is. So things changing every moment here. Half an hour to go. Casera still in the hunt. And there's the safety car. What a dramatic race this is turning out to be, and it's far from over. And Scott, you've been in this position so many times. How hard is it to control and manage your race when you're having these stops and starts like this?
I always just, you know, sometimes you want them, sometimes you don't. But I'm typically a fan of cautions for me, just because I grew up short track racing and love to restart. So it's you know, I'll take every advantage I get.
Do you worry about overheating? Do you worry about the time management? Do you worry about, like you say, restarts you weren't worried about because of your short track experience? But what are the things that you're most worried about at this point?
Hold on. I think we can hear Adam talking.
Car 48 requests the car be brought into their pit box if possible. I'll get that done, Eric.
What was that? What did he say?
Car 48 to the
car
pit
48
box.
to get to the pit box if they can get him in. So that was race control that we were listening to there.
Left at 5.
So they'll likely just hook up to him and pull him around to the pit box. It sounds like they feel like they can fix it, that whatever it is.
Yeah, because he's just under half the race. So that.
Yeah, and Scott does. He will finish.
Yeah.
He doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. He's not gonna say, "Oh man, I'm a lap down now or 2 laps down, and I'm just gonna go
getting
home."
my Corvette in half an hour.
Yeah, no, he's gonna run. This is kind of bad, but I had to get onto him somewhere because he ran a race right before ours, and he was fast. It was Charlotte. He was fast as could be. And then we got to the end of the race, and he wasn't as fast at the end, and it turned out to be a car problem. But I went to him right after the race and got on to him and said, "You're not allowed to run before our races anymore."
Yeah, he ran an enduro. It was like an hour and a half enduro.
You know, and so he said, "I swear it wasn't me." And it turned out it wasn't him. But I, sitting up top watching, I'm getting on to him, and I was politely reminded by some other people that's actually the boss at times, right? Like that's your customer. You're not supposed to yell at him or get on to him.
Well, he probably respects that.
I want to win, man. I want to win.
That's
so
good.
I got to give it up for Evan Slater in the number 71. He was with us at Lime Rock, if you remember.
Yes.
Really, really fast there, but had some unfortunate incidences happen. I think a mechanical, but he's 15 years old. This is his second time in TA2. He's a momentum driver. He raced those. What are those SCCA Spec
Racer
S2000?
Fords?
Yeah.
Which I'm a huge fan of guys that come out of that. That's how my dad got his start in his career. And
so if you can drive a TA2 car with momentum, you have a pretty good advantage with people.
Yeah, you definitely want to run these things with a lot of momentum, but they've got enough power to spin the tires, so it gets to be a little bit difficult at times.
Shout out to Rhett Barco being looked after by Mark Miller, who was in the commentary booth just a while back, and Rhett currently in 12th position in Miller's old car, funnily enough.
Yeah, well, let's go through the field. Rafa Matos in first and currently first in points, our 2018 champion. Adam Andretti second, Connor Mosack third, Adrian Lostowski fourth, Tyler Casera fifth, Evan Pecor sixth. Number 7 is Edward Savajian, Keith Prochuk 9, Keith Prochuk 8, Elias Anderson 9, Darren Mock 10, Evan Slater 11, Rhett Barco doing really well in 12th in that Dodge Challenger. Jeff Wood 13, Michael Self fell back to 14.
He's pitted.
Tom Sheehan had to come in, I think, for some brake lights, but he's still at 15. Kurt Voda 16, Doug Peterson 17, Bruce Raymond 18, Luke Rumberg 19, Maurice Hall 20th, John Cloud 21, Alex Wright 22, Stephen Lustig 23, my deadhead. Scott Borchetta is now back down to 24th. Mike Skeen 25th, William Moore, Jim Gallagher, Barry Bowes, and Ken Twaits. There's our field.
And Ken Twaits, not starting, unfortunately. But I'll tell you what, this race could prove significant for the championship, especially if Rafa has another good run next weekend at Road America, because Skeen is dropping down quickly now.
He is, yeah. And I'm wondering, we're going to go green next time by. We saw Borchetta getting towed in.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a shot of pit lane to see if they're working on Skeen's car, if he was just buried and they're just getting the gravel out, or if they've given it up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching Darren Mock. I think this is his first road race, one of his first road races, and he's doing a really good job. He's using his head every time he pops up on the screen or see him come by here. It looks like he's using his head, and now he's up to 10th here. So
well, he was another one I was kind of looking up yesterday, because he actually caused an incident, or it caused a stoppage in the practice yesterday, because he had a spin, and I was like, I don't recognize that guy. Where's he popped out from? So, yeah, I hats off to him. He's doing a heck of a job.
I texted Jeff Hawley, the crew chief at Silverhair, about Michael Self, and he said he blew a tire, debris on track, and came and changed the tire. So that's why Michael Self in that beautiful green fossil fuels car out there with the green wheels. So they put a new tire on him, and he's back in the race.
I tell you what, I'm glad your family are tuning in. It seems they're absolutely enthralled by your commentary, Ben.
Yeah, I've got my son here. I've worn him out. He's sleeping over here right next to me. But I've been pointing out, we've been watching the feed, all of our signs that we've spent so much time putting up. 2 of them have blown down. And this morning we were here at 6 a.m. with the sunrise, putting up those Speed Tour Sunoco signs there that you see at turn 1. So he's pretty tuckered out. He's earned a nap. Maybe it's my voice lulling him to sleep. It's definitely not you, Jonathan.
Well, I can tell you my voice is going to get very ready for the restart of this one, because I know it's going to be dramatic, because it really is now make or break with 26 minutes to go for Rafa Matos. There's a difference. If Rafa gets this all right, and he should be in a position to do so, his teammates behind him, but if it all goes well for the three-dimensional services team, they'll be leading the championship, leaving here at Mid-Ohio with a healthy lead for the first time in a while, and Rafa knows it. But anything can happen, and Andretti's right behind him. Here they go. And we haven't counted out Connor Mosack. He's got no reason to be worried about the yellow perils in front of him. He's got more worry about Lostowski right behind him, and we go on board now with Adrian.
Looks like he got a good exit. I've been drilling in his head to focus on getting off of turn 1 all weekend, so I'm proud of him right there.
Yeah, that was a good exit. Key to get good drive out of here, though, and you can see that Darren Mock got a good drive. He's come alongside the car in front of him. Down the back straight they come. Tyler Casera, here's that drag race we were talking about. Edward Savagian of Texas, in Dallas, Texas, against the 94.
Pecor, Edward Savagian going into turn 4. Edward Savagian has it, but Pecor has the line here if he can hold it.
Go on. And he's done it. Nicely done. Kept your foot in. That was a legacy move.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the great 92.
The 7 Precor is obviously a racer. That's not a rookie move. He just pulled right there.
No,
so.
not at all.
Making a name this weekend. That's cool. That's the neat thing about this series is guys are, coming in and watch him be some world champion road racer.
Yeah.
But because I don't keep up with this stuff, but that was impressive right there.
Very good.
That really was. And Keith Prochek right there behind Savagian. There's Pecor. Beautiful. I've got to say that's a BC race car. That's just too similar to not look like a BC race car. And
another lap completed.
BC usually brings in, he's had Michelle Abadi with us, who rode Atlanta, but usually Misha Goikberg. So he knows how to find talent. Bruce Raymond and Kurt Vogt, 2 vintage guys with us. Kurt Vogt, Bruce Raymond, our Group 10 guy. He's running for the Pro-Am Championship. We've got a local yellow there at 4.
And that car's going nowhere, and there's a lot of damage to the left-hand side of it, but it's just body work, I think. Unless he's been hit on the right-hand side as well.
It is, but that's brand new body work. So I feel bad for my buddy Bruce Raymond.
Mosak
coming in. Hopefully they're seeing that yellow.
Mosak looking for a way past Andretti.
Don't pass
but
here.
Look out. You can't do it now. Don't do it. Oh, this is going to be scary. Connor's going to get an eyeful of that 54. And that's, I don't know why they haven't thrown out the full course, because that was a really scary moment for Connor.
That's the series is pretty smart. That's a spot. A lot of us put spotters. So there's a high likelihood that they would know. They know that we're all on the radio there.
Okay.
Right. I was not liking to see that pass there.
Well, no, and that's why I was wondering, because it seemed kind of precarious.
See, that's good insight from a driver.
Even Levi woke up for that one.
You're making your check right now.
Okay.
I love it.
It's a big one too, I'm sure, right?
Money. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Connor getting squirrely out of that exit there. What are the tires doing for you with 22 to go and with these stop-start kind of races? Are they okay at this point or not? The reason I asked is Connor's kind of like slid around for a minute there.
Yeah, I think he kind of got hooked there and was trying to hustle a little, probably too much. But this tire is just so good. Pirelli's done a phenomenal job. When I run, I traditionally stay on old tires a lot for practice because the tire's so consistent and so good. So I don't expect to see any major, especially this shorter runs. I don't see any major tire kind of balance change happening here, anything crazy. I would like to see it go green longer because that's we typically work on that, but that's just a selfishness thing here.
So we are under caution yet again. We are watching Adam Andretti taking to TA2. He's done it before and he's doing it again, but he's right behind the championship leader Rafa Matos.
I always say this about Mid-Ohio. It does not disappoint. This is a great race happening here. I'd like to know what happened there with Bruce Raymond and Kurt Vogt. They both race a lot together in SVRA, Group 10 and Group 6. Bruce is our Group 10 champion the last 2 years. Last year in a TA2 car, the year before that in an 80s Trans Am, Pontiac Trans Am.
That's been the neat thing about this series and what Mr. Perel is doing is the vintage and the Trans Am side by side. You see that crossover, and that's really hats off to the idea.
Well, let's head down to the pit lane because I know that Tabitha Andretti is down there, probably rather nervously too, watching Adam go about his paces. They were both down there, and there she is.
Tabitha's very competitive. I've actually met her here at Mid-Ohio, and she was telling me about her motocross races.
Tell us how you're feeling watching Adam out there with TA2 again.
It is so exciting to be back with TA2 here in the paddock. It's our first race with 3D Dimensional, and we could not be happier. We're so thankful for the car, the team, and he's having so much fun this weekend. We're hoping we can hold Connor off, and we're hoping we can go maybe caution-free for the rest of the race.
What about if he gets the chance to have a go at Rafa? Will he have team orders?
Say one more time.
Will he have team orders if he gets a chance to go at Rafa?
Both drivers are drivers, right? So they're going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. And when it comes to team orders, well, I've got no answer for you.
Thanks, Tabitha. Head up back to you, Johnny.
Spoken like a good one.
I love Tabitha. She's so much fun. We have a lot of fun together. And I got to say, when she said we're going to keep Connor Mosack, I looked over at my buddy to the left, and he's doing this. He's like crossing his hands over his neck. So it's a lot of fun.
I
camaraderie.
like her. She's always in a great mood, and I like her. But that is now the first time her and I have ever disagreed. And we're going to have a discussion about this later.
Well,
I love it.
They were, both Adam and Tabitha were at Eldora last night watching Ernie Francis Jr., and you can watch Ernie Francis Jr., our TA 7-time champion, tonight on CBS. CBS, the network channel, so it's not the CBS Sports Network, it's actually CBS.
Prime time,
Prime
dude.
time, baby. And we are all behind. I'm thinking that most of the Trans Am fraternity will be watching Ernie Francis Jr. taking on Tony Stewart and, well, you name it, Willie T. They're
Bill
all out there.
Elliott.
Bill Elliott, Tony Canard.
Yeah.
Great. Really
Elio
looking forward to it.
Castroneves, our Indy 500
the current
winner.
500 winner.
Yeah.
4 times.
Great field.
So that's tonight, but who is going to be celebrating tonight? Certainly three-dimensional. If they get the first and second, we'll be happy. But I agree with Tabitha. These guys are racers, and if Adam has a chance to put one over on Rafa cleanly, he will.
Scott believes this is going to come down to a timed race.
I'm sitting here trying to make sure that now, and I'll text the group if I do, but I'm seeing a timed race here, and you hate that.
How does that tactically change what you would tell Connor to do then? Not
Connor's going to go.
Okay. I was expecting some, amazing.
And Jacob Mosler's in here with us in the booth, and he's listening to
Is
Connor's
he coming back racing?
radio.
I hear he's coming
He
back
says
racing.
he's coming back racing. He says he's waiting on Scott to build him a car.
Yeah, he's got,
But,
he's got some new Tiger colors.
He said that Connor's not really being active on the radio, right? And that's usually a good sign when the driver's not talking too much.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to sucker Jacob back in here soon. He is always the most fun to be a part of.
Well, he's advertising his new paint color scheme on his shorts today, so we're looking forward to seeing the Leopard run.
Yeah, last year's car was the Swisher Sweet color, so we'll see what the next one comes. He's requested a gold chassis.
Oh, why
I
not?
joked to him, I was like, that'll help for weight.
So we are under caution, and we are just shooting the breeze a little bit because there's nothing to talk about while we're under safety.
Notice Rafa's white bumper there. So after his flyer lap, he tried to beat it, and we were watching. He came around here, the carousel, backed into the wall, and went up onto the wall. So not only did he win pole, but the crew had to do a lot of work last night.
Well, Tyler had a spin as well on his last lap.
They had to. Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, yesterday, where we are right there, turn 4, they said was just treacherous. There's just water going across it. Then some of the track was dry, so even the top 3 drivers that came in all had mud or all had damage on their car. But man, I've really been impressed. I know we keep saying it, but Adrian Lostowski has really found some speed in TA2.
Well, we haven't talked about hero moves. What about Lostowski to make his real first effort at a podium here? He's got a great chance now. Sorry to say that, Scott, but if he could get a scalp of someone like Connor right now, make a name for himself.
Yeah, no, he's doing a real good job, and I'm sure a lot of it has to do with Chaz Howe and the support he's getting from Chaz. Chaz is such a great guy, and they do a good job with their stuff. So I'm thinking that's a good little combination they have going there.
Yeah, no question.
So let's look at here. Here's the car coming back on the rollback. Are they going to go green here and then just know that he's going to come in? I think they might. Knowing David Hoots.
No, they can't.
I don't know. I think they might. Let's see.
David Hoots, our new race director, ex-NASCAR.
If we were at Road America, they would.
Yeah, they do.
The
hot
first
poles
time,
there.
yeah, the first time that ever happened to me, a hot pole. And we don't do that in our world. Hey guys, there's a pace truck out here, and we're racing wide open, pulling a car.
That's not easy.
So they're going back and forth right there to keep the heat in their Pirelli tires. The hotter the tires are, the grippier they are. And I know that we've talked about this. These Pirelli tires, they really don't go away in these 100-lap races, but you've really got to take care of them during the race.
Yeah, I mean, if you get on the rear tires and spin them too much, they will make a balance change. But they are just durable. You can just beat on them the whole time, and it makes it fun. I mean, it's qualifying laps every lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100-mile sprint race, it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's truly what TA2 seems to be.
Yeah, I had Adam in the commentary booth, and he was saying that because I said, well, what are the strategy? And he said, you know, I'd love to be able to give you some sort of clever, magical strategy, but he said, literally, we are qualifying all the time.
Yeah, it's from the driver's standpoint, you kind of want it both ways. You love this part about it, but then there is the times you wish you had the tire fall off, so you were managing stuff.
Right.
So, but it's really good for a training standpoint because it's a consistent tire, and the guys can run hard when they make mistakes. It doesn't ruin their day.
So I see on Evan Pecor's car, he's with Value Pro. We're following along. Adam Andretti coming down that downhill to the right turn. I'm hearing from race control they're hoping to go green this time.
Yeah, now it should go green this time because he's definitely had time.
And look across, I see Maurice Hull walking around. So Maurice must be out of the race for some reason. Usually always in for the Masters. He was our co-Masters champion last year with Doug Peterson. As we ride along with Doug Peterson's racer Adam Andretti, following his other race car driver Rafa Matos.
Adam, if you can hear me, the wife's giving you permission to race. Go do it, son.
Coming in this time, pace car. Let's give this over to Scott, Jonathan, this restart. See what Scott's saying.
Let's see what he sees. Yep. Go for it, Scott.
Oh, boy.
Here we come, out of the carousel. What do you see, Scott Lagasse Jr.?
I see a pretty even start here. I'm going to look into turn one. It's not a good place to pop your nose out and try to pass. You're going to try to use whatever momentum you have for an exit here. The keyhole brake zone is massive. It's you know, you get off turn one here with a good run, then you're really looking for the keyhole. And you can see Connor must have got off good.
Yeah, Tyler Casera ducked out. Edward
Adam's going to the inside the block.
Look at that. Yeah.
Around the outside, Savajian getting pressure now from the 94. Really good restart from Evan Precor. Good, clean start.
And ladies and gentlemen, there's also no team orders on what comes out of Scott Lagasse Jr.'s mouth in these last laps. So let it fly, Scott. Tell us what you're saying. You're seeing here. Look at this.
My mouth does nothing but get me in trouble.
We just saw Connor Mosack go in for a pass, and we're not sure of the outcome. We're not sure yet.
I saw some tire smoke, so somebody was in pretty deep there.
I think it was Connor. We're on board. No change at the front.
He went for it, so that's where he's going to want to take it. It looks like he's going to show Adam, this is where I'm going to take it, and maybe he'll do something different. But Adam, just like last year we saw with Rafa and Thomas Merrill, Rafa would go real deep into four to where it wouldn't give Thomas Merrill any room for a couple of laps, and Adam knows how to do that as well.
Keep an eye on fourth
place, guys. Would you call that a block?
Yeah, but it is what it is.
A legal block.
I see cars sliding a lot here. I saw Rafa sliding and a minute ago, and that was surprising off a fresh restart. So
out of the carousel with Lostowski. He's got his sights set on Connor Mosack. Down the front straight they come. Across the strip and down under the bridge at turn one. We're getting down to the business end of this one. Lostowski looking for a podium. It would be his first in TA2.
Look at that train of TA2 cars. We look at Tyler Casera coming on the right of Adrian Lostowski in the keyhole.
That's
a nice pass.
And look at him slide his way out of there, and having built up Lostowski going for the podium. Now Casera's put him back to fourth.
Crossover move here. He's got the momentum because Tyler's got slipped up there on exit. So
side by side under braking. Somebody's got to give. Connor Mosack on Andretti, and on the inside is Casera. He'll have the better line. But for how long he does take it, and Lostowski has to settle through five into the S's.
Back to good racing all the way through this field. Yeah, you see this; it's everywhere in the field. That's really neat to see.
And this is really, really good stuff at the moment. Rafa's built up again, a lead slightly anyway over second and third. Connor Mosack and Andretti going at it for second and third. They've pulled away now from that battle for fourth. Connor looking as though he's struggling with tires here.
Yeah, he's got some rear tire issues there coming into that turn. That's a difficult turn, too, because you're coming up over the hill. But I've noticed that Pecor, his rear end has been coming out from him a little bit as well.
this race has had everything. Hard to concentrate. Look at Self climbing right through. He had to pit earlier with a problem. I think you said he picked up some debris, but he's now scything his way back it through and showing a good, clean run. Self up to 10th position.
And I love seeing this in TA2, Dodge versus Chevy versus Ford, just like Trans Am should be.
Yeah, good move there by the 51 car. Doesn't look like he's going to get it done here, but he crossed him over and should have some momentum here. And he does. Look at that.
Nicely done. Darren Mock then, making a name for himself for sure.
Yeah, just smooth, taking what his car will give him and make a day out of it. And that's, that grabs attention by doing stuff like that. You don't necessarily want to see the guy that's going to wreck your stuff every week. You want the guy that's going to use his head and do a good job. And it looks like he is.
Yeah, I've been real impressed with our newcomers here to TA2. All of them seem to be doing a really good job, but that gap between Rafa and Andretti, that keeps opening up, but the gap between Connor Mosack and Andretti seems to stay about the same.
You know, David Hoots is a very large man, very happy man and great man to be around, but he's a very large man, and I think that kind of sends a message, you better not come here and do stupid stuff. So that may help the rookies kind of
I had a
use
long
their
chat.
heads a little bit.
I had a long chat pre-season with David, and I got the measure of the man. You're absolutely right. I wouldn't want to argue with him. I like talking to him, didn't want to argue with him.
We I haven't seen him in years till he came back here, but my rookie season, the NASCAR deal, I needed a caution, and I screamed and screamed on the radio, and you're kind of putting him in a position to, because everybody's listening, to have to make a call for a caution, And it was a hot dog wrapper on the inside of the racetrack, right? I just needed a caution. It was no need whatsoever. So nothing happened, no caution. We get to the next racetrack, and he says, hey, how about outside here? That's a big move.
If he can hold it, though, he's got good advantage at 5, but Adam cuts it off. That's where Connor wants Adam, though.
And he's now tapping the rear end of Adam.
Use his head here.
Oh, this is getting good between these two.
So what would you be saying on the radio? Are you saying pass Adam, or are you saying just hold on to a podium?
Make him make a mistake. Let's learn that technique. Let's make him make a mistake. But that's why he's here. He's here to race an Adam Andretti level guy, and that, it looks like he's learning a lot right now. And that's again, it's why he's here and why those guys come here.
From my eyes, Connor looks faster than Adam.
Yeah.
Adam's just wider.
No, you're absolutely right.
Adam's as tough as anybody to race, especially at this place. So, but you got to learn. You're going to get in those situations.
And Adam's been in the booth with us all year, Jonathan. It's kind of cool to see our
great.
cohorts. And maybe that's the thing now, Scott. Maybe you'll be out on the track again and out of the booth.
We'll see.
Exactly it.
I'm ready to get back for sure. But looks like he's got himself a little gap here. So back to Mr. Hoots. I get to the next race after screaming and causing this ruckus on the radio, trying to get a caution, a much-needed caution on our side. He politely invites me up to the tower where there are probably no less than 30 TVs and a camera capable of zooming in to whatever he wants. Shows me that, and I've left there and said, point taken, boss. Good. Never again have I called for a caution after that.
Yeah.
But,
David Hoots, our new chief steward, been with us all season. I've been nothing but impressed with him. So much fun to hang out with, but has over 1,000 NASCAR starts and finishes in all the series. So just somebody that really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Speak softly, carry a big stick. Yeah. That is what he reminds me of, and I like that.
Herding cats is how he described 30 years of NASCAR, and I get it.
So look at that gap. That gap has probably opened up another 25 feet between Rafa and Adam, but watch Connor. He's right behind Adam. Connor has the faster car right now. He just can't get it around him as we look at it. Adrian Lostowski, Edward Sabajan, they've been battling it out 1v1 this whole race.
Yeah. So where would Connor make a move if you were in the seat right now?
It looks like he's not good enough off of 1 here, which is, it looks like I'm going to take the blame for that because I know better than have our cars not be the best off turn 1. He's got to run here. And
this is his best. And it's a good
deep
opportunity.
In the brake zone there, so.
Nicely
good
done.
Move. Good job.
But Adam will try and tuck in now.
No, Adam spun the rear tires there. Good job, Connor. So
that's a gap.
I'm not going to lie. I feel pretty proud right now because I've been harping on that since we came here and went to work. So let's see if he can run Rafa down now.
Yeah, exactly. And look at him go. He has just sprinted off And there's no way after that slight mistake by Adam Andretti on the exit of the keyhole, that's all it took. Just a little bit of wheel spin and Connor was gone. And now Connor's got 5 minutes, not really enough time to do much impact on Rafa Matos. And it looks as though his rear tires are pretty much spent. He's sliding heavily at the moment, but we'll see. Or can Andretti keep with him, stay with him,
The
make
car
a
right
similar
there,
move?
turn 9, the car gets really light there. We heard Scott talk about that. The jump basically means the car. I can't understand what Adam's saying.
I heard no rear tire left.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
think
nobody
that's what
does.
you said,
So
yeah.
Everybody's saying that, yeah.
This is the position as a driver you're in. You want to go get that leader, but you need to keep your head down and be disciplined because you're going to make a mistake and lose second here. So I'm sure they're on the radio to Connor, just tell him to hit his marks, do his job, because he'll drive away if he does, and to run Rafa down in 4 minutes is probably not going to happen.
And he hasn't lost Andretti yet, has he? Connor can't, breathe easy yet.
No, I saw him spin the tires a couple times, and likely it doesn't look like the car's handling like it should, so he's just going to have to nurse it home at this point.
Yeah, Jacob's saying, the team is saying to stay smooth, be calm. So that's good advice right there as we look at Casera, Lostowski, Edward Savajian. This is a great group too. What I love about TA2, just like our vintage field, sometimes it's about the front, the mid, the back of the pack racing. It's great throughout.
Here we go. Adam's as close as he's been to Connor Mosack in the last few laps. Likewise, Lostowski's right there with Tyler Casera. We're getting that grandstand finish to this one. We've had some cautions, we've had a few offs, but this is coming down to the nitty-gritty, and all the guys that have been in it since the start are still in it now. And look at this, side by side. Andretti's not done yet with Connor Mosack.
And this is coming up to this left-hander. This is where Connor's getting real sideways. And Adam is a tactician. He's seeing where Connor's weaknesses are. He knows where his weaknesses are. So Adam's going to wait and make a really good pass if he can. And Connor, he really looks like, and this is great practice for where he wants to be in racing because his car looks real loose right now.
He's there's something he's got figured out. I'll be honest, I look at his data trying to figure it out because even when we run against each other, he gets off the corners really good. Connor does, and I don't know yet what it is he does a little bit different than I do even, and so he's going to be tough to pass
I
here.
think his underwear is more comfortable than yours. He's probably wearing the Nick Taylor underwear.
Well, his underwear is going to be uncomfortable now because look out, here comes Andretti. Side-by-side drag race down the back straight at Mid-Ohio. Who's going to come into fourth first? Mosack's got the power down, but Andretti's right there behind him and he'll have the slipstream. If Andretti's going to do it, he's got to do it now. Ooh, it's tight. Let's get the inside line. Nice move by Andretti. He has. Look at this.
That is really good racecraft from both drivers, Connor and Adam Andretti. Nice job. I don't think there was any contact there. I did see Scott Lagacy reach for his brake pedal sitting next to me.
I do not like this at all.
No, he's not enjoying it.
This is a whole lot better to be in the car.
Yep.
But that is really good racing, and those are the lessons that Connor needs to learn or is here to learn right there is racing in Adam Andretti.
Really good racing here. 2 minutes to go, and Andretti putting on a great performance here. He got into the car. He hasn't been racing in the last few rounds. He's been doing some commentary and almost literally kind of tapping his foot, trying to think about how he can get back into a car. He's been walking the paddock. He's been working this, and Peterson gave him the option, and he's not been disappointing at all. He's got a young gun, Connor Mosack, who's looked after and mentored by Scott Lagacy Jr., the man alongside us today, and we're enjoying every moment of it. He may not be, but it's a great battle between these two. The wily veteran that is Adam Andretti, racing a fair few years in Trans Am, and the youngster Connor Mosack. Mosack's got a chance now, surely.
He got to run off the corner there, so this is...
And Adam will get wide.
He's going to want to pass, but that's where Adam got him because he's set up for turn 5. If you can stay with them through here, Adam's going to try to cut him off.
And does.
But no, look at that. Yeah, that's too wide. That's a...
Oh, Connor's going to force his way through, is he? Side by side again.
All right, we got to bring these home in one piece, boys.
Lagacy trying to give instructions from the commentary booth. It won't work.
We got to be at a racetrack in 3 days.
Yeah,
boys.
You don't get to go back to St. Augustine and put this thing back together.
Florida's too far.
Either way, Rafa Matos is going to head home and surely take the checkered flag. We're running out of time now. Lap 38 and 47 seconds. We would love this to carry on for another 5 laps, but Lagacy couldn't take it. The white flag is out. Rafa crosses the line to complete the penultimate lap. And here comes Andretti. He's out of shape.
Andretti loose out of the carousel. It's all about this setup right here into turn 1.
And into play comes Casera, because as these two battle, Casera says, all right, I'll join you. They may be smiling for now, but will they at the end? It's going to be a 1-2, or is it?
Reading lips, I think that guy from Three Dimensional said, well, we need a 3-car team from now on. And it's going to be hard for Doug Peterson to make that choice after watching this, because this looks like we might have a 3-car team with 3 Dimensionals now.
Yeah, Adam was slow putting the throttle down there.
Now, can Connor Mosack make an audacious move into 4? If it was Lagacy out there, I know he'd go for it. But I don't think he's close enough this time, do you?
No, I think this is going to be it here.
Casera has closed in, as has Lostowski, but they're going to finish there too by the looks of things, because they're just not close enough. Andretti has done enough, and this has been a virtuoso performance by a man who just stepped into the seat today, or this weekend. He's followed Rafa Matos, been a great teammate to him, and Rafa's going to take the win. Three Dimensional Services are going to take a 1-2, and Adam Andretti can be proud, and his wife can be proud of the performance they put on. But it's going to be the Brazilian in the 88 coming out of the carousel to win at Mid-Ohio and extend his lead in the championship with Mike Skeen out of the race. Andretti takes a brilliant second, and Connor Mosack can be well pleased that Scott Lagacy Jr., and we'll find out, is happy with that race by him.
I'm happy.
Good.
Yeah, for no practice this weekend, I'll take that. But that was good racing, and man, Adam did a hell of a job. Connor did as well. So thanks for having me up here. I've enjoyed it.
I'm so happy you could enjoy it with us, but never easy. My thanks to Scott Lagacy Jr. Andretti's on the radio, thanking his team. Tabitha's hugging everybody that'll come near her, and well, she should. She is well happy with that. And it really is a turnaround of fortunes for Adam, because it's been delightful having him in the commentary booth, but without a drive, he was third in the TA Championship after Road Atlanta, and you could see himself dropping down the order as everybody else was racing, and he was stuck in the booth. Now he got the chance at Lime Rock, and now he's got the chance here. And surely you've got to say that there is room in TA2 for this man, Adam Andretti. And yes, if you're wondering, he does come from that legacy family that is Andretti. And his brother John and Mario, Uncle Mario, and father Aldo, great family and a great run, and he really is an Andretti. We saw it today. Fantastic racing. Andretti up the inside of Casera. Skeen was in this early on, and we had some freeway racing. Mosack there, Self there, everybody involved. And meanwhile, Rafa Matos was building a lead, especially when his rival went out and into the gravel. Mosack made his way through on Andretti, but Andretti wasn't done, and back he came. Brilliantly done. But it was this man, Rafa, from pole to flag. Brilliant. So we take a breath now from what was a cracking race for many ways. Let's take a look at the results officially or unofficially, because anything can happen in the steward's office. But at the moment, Three Dimensional Services are 1 and 2, with Rafa Matos the winner and the championship leader. Adam Andretti comes back in style. What a great race for him, holding off Connor Mosack in third. Tyler Casera shouldn't be upset with that. Fourth place, very good indeed. Adrian Rostowski in fifth. Edward Savagin of Dallas, Texas, 6th. Evan Peacock, good run by him in 7th for the Division Motors Value Pro team. Keith Prochuk in 8th position for the HB Tuners team. And Elias Anderson of Texas in 9th. And Darren Mock, good run by him, a new man to our view. And here is Rafa. I'm sure Rafa will have a lot to say, because it was probably a pretty tough race for Rafa, given the stop and start issues he had to deal with. He had to restart, and also He may have had Adam Andretti as a teammate, but I think if given the chance, Adam would have had a pop at him if he got the chance. But he's happy. Rafa, definitely delighted by that. Number 1, baby. Well, Ben has left the booth, and I think as Rafa takes his balaclava off, he might well be ready to go. Let's head down to Ben Sissel to hear from Rafa Matos.
Rafa Matos, what is it about you in Mid-Ohio? That was such an incredible race. Starting from pole, you just seemed to create gaps between you guys. What a great job. How was your race?
Let me tell you, Ben, this was the best Trans Am car that I ever driven in my life, in my Trans Am career. Three-dimensional service group team. Peterson Racing Team did an amazing job prepping this car, and the car was just a pleasure to drive. So it was really easy to drive, very predictable, and that's what helped us to win this race. Just couldn't be more proud of my team right now.
Nice. Rafa, congratulations, man. Way to do it. Good stuff.